Special council meeting for Tuesday, March 29th, 2022 is called to order at 6:17 p.m. We're going to do silent meditation followed by the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. May I please have roll call, please?
Roll call. Mayor Nickerson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Urbom.
Present.
Councilperson Peretta.
Here.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
Here.
Councilperson Martin.
Present.
Also present for the record, Christia Liu, Village Manager, Janice Jacoby, Village Clerk, and Attorney Geller is running a little late.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Approval of the agenda. We have only one item, you guys, which is an ordinance. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, so moved.
Motion moved by Vice Mayor Urbom. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing none, moving on. Resolutions and ordinances. We're going to the first and only ordinance that we have, E1. Madam Clerk, can you please read that into the record?
An ordinance of the Village of El Portal, Florida, authorizing the issuance of a capital improvement refunding revenue note, Series 2022, of the issuer in the principal amount of not to exceed $700,000 to refund the issuer's line of credit, providing that the note shall be payable from pledged revenues, authorizing that and delegating to the mayor or village manager the sale of the note to the bank pursuant to the terms and conditions of financing agreement with the bank, approving the execution and delivery of said financing agreement, providing for the rights, securities, and remedies for the owner of the note, making certain covenants and agreements in the connection therewith, making such determinations as required to afford such note bank qualified status, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I know you're kind of under the weather, so I really do appreciate that. You guys, this is pretty straightforward. We're extending our loan from the money that we borrowed for FEMA. If you guys remember in the past when I first became mayor, thanks to Manager Liu, Attorney Geller, and myself, we were on so many different meetings and phone calls and things like that. And the first thing we got back was $462,318, and then we got back an additional $107,930, and that money went straight back to pay off the original loan, because the original loan was the full amount, which was $1.2 million. And so what we have left right now, we have $679,000, $750,000 that's left. And therefore, we're taking out we're extending a loan. We're renewing for $700,000, which, that $679,000 that we have left falls into. And in the meantime, that'll be for a year. In the meantime, within that year, the manager and I and Attorney Geller, we're going to continue to conversate with FEMA, our point person that we had for so long, where we got that first 400 and some odd and that 100 and some odd $1,000. Jared Moskowitz, he was our point person for FEMA, FDP, and he's not there any longer. So now we have to make a new connection. And as I always say to you guys, it's all about connections and things like that when it comes there. Do I have any questions or comments from the council before I call for a motion to approve?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
I heard you, but I didn't quite understand you. We have an expert in the office, in the audience. You're nice, Moran, who I really don't understand what you just said about having 400. What number did you say? 600 and some 604
remaining. So
and it's going to 700,000. And what this is me trying to remember how this works, and I can't. So that's why I'm asking the question. I don't want a resident to come in and say, why did you all have to loan renewal, and then it go to 700,000? So just make it real clear.
Absolutely.
What we're doing when you say it's a loan renewal, as though we didn't pay it, or we still owe it, or what really is going on?
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. We still owe it. When Hurricane Irma came around, we had $1.2 million what was the cost of Hurricane Irma, of cleaning up Hurricane Irma. Okay, FEMA reimburses the municipalities. FEMA has not reimbursed us to complete $1.2 million. Because we had to pay out the $1.2 million, therefore we needed that money, but FEMA had not reimbursed it, so we were forced to take out a loan. This was years ago. This was before I was mayor. We had to take out a loan for the $1.2 million. Since then, when I became mayor, we started to get money back. And like I said, myself, the manager, and Attorney Guerra are working hard at this. The first payment we got back from FEMA was $462,318.70. The second payment we got back from FEMA was $107,930.74. Because of those two reimbursements back from FEMA, we now still owe, from the loan that we took from the 1.2, we now still owe $679,750.56. The loan that we had with Synovus, that loan came to an end. So now we have to renew this loan. But we're not renewing it at the $1.2 million that we originally took the loan back, because we got those fundings back from FEMA, the 400 and some odd and the 100 and some odd $1,000. Therefore, we now have to renew this loan for a year for $700,000, because that will cover the $679,750 that we still owe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, and I appreciate that. I followed the numbers as you were talking. In doing all of that, how long is it going to take us to pay this loan off?
So this loan's going to be extended for a year. As far as how long it's going to take us to pay it off, if FEMA reimburses us a month from now, it will be paid off within a month. If FEMA reimburses us 6 months from now, we will be paid off in 6 months. So it just depends on when FEMA reimburses us and gives us this last chunk of the money.
And this is a new banker?
No, this is not a new banker. This is the
We
same.
still got no,
Same one. Go ahead.
May I add a little bit just for clarification? Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, we actually took out a line of credit. That's what we've been operating under for the last year and a half, 2 years. We are now rolling that into a loan. That's why it's a different instrument. But this, the new loan, it's a 12-month loan that will allow us to get all of our audits in order and everything, and then we can apply for the next loan to cover the 670, but really it's 700,000, because it also includes the costs that are associated with the loan.
yeah. Okay.
So,
That-
if I may, in other words, it's being converted into a loan, but these first 12-month terms is going to be interest only, so we're not going to be reducing the amount, right? And just because the audit has been
Delayed.
completed. So we cannot go into a regular loan where we can at least start paying on the principal at least this year. So we're gonna be paying like $50,000 a year going to waste, because it's just interest only. And hopefully the audits will be, I mean, we have a CFO over here. I don't know if he will have a more clear answer of when the audit will be ready, or, because I know that on the contract here for the bank, it talks about, they're giving us at least a year to present the audits and all of that, but, I mean, it's tough.
So in simplistic format, we're trying a responsible action that would place us where we need to be as opposed to where we are.
That's correct, Council.
So be it. I'm satisfied, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
I would like to recap, if I could, how we got here from the beginning, if I may.
No problem, Vice Mayor Urban.
All right. So I see several people in the audience here for a special meeting tonight. I'm just curious, by show of hands, if you could please, who's a resident of this village? Okay, I've got a few hands up, and it's being videotaped as well. For the benefit of the residents in the village, I've lived here 8 years, was here during Irma. Some of you may have been as well. So what I have in front of me is minutes printed off from a meeting from July 31st, 2018. Okay, so this is almost 4 years ago. And so at that meeting, July 31st, 2018, was when this line of credit was originally approved by the council that sat at that time. The original line of credit was for $1.25 million. However, the bills outstanding were 1.4, I believe. We tried to get a line of credit for $1.5 million, but I remember from watching a video that the Synovus had said, or the bank had said, no, we're only approving you for 1.25. And just to remind everybody that 1.25 limit then required us to go further into our reserve funds, which were fully depleted after Hurricane Irma. We had promises. Well, I believe in these minutes, Julinda from the bank had said this is going to be taken care of in 12 months, but it wasn't the bank who was really with all the information about whether or not that could happen. It was assumed, and assumptions are very dangerous, it was assumed that FEMA would fully reimburse us these monies within 12 months, which is why the line of credit was essentially agreed to, because it seemed clear that the last step in this process was simply to pay the vendors the bills outstanding, which would then trigger the reimbursement from FEMA. But that previous council, administration, attorney, and manager included did not clarify that those invoices had not been yet vetted by FEMA. We still were submitting everything to FEMA. We still are submitting everything to FEMA now 4 years later, or at least waiting for them to, the submissions are in, but we're waiting for FEMA to make a final judgment on how much of the outstanding $679,750.56 they are willing and able to verify our legitimate expenses and reimburse us this money. So the line of credit essentially expired, and now we're into a full-blown loan at a rate of 6.26, if I'm reading this correctly. So I do have absolutely a question for the bank tonight, and manager, attorney, mayor, CFO, anyone who can help me understand why we're at 6.26 as an interest rate on this loan. And additionally, realize that night, July 31st, 2018, the information that the bank was presented with from the village via DP&O was that this would all be gone in 12 months because FEMA would fully reimburse us. And Mayor Cabillos herself said, this is a bridge loan until we can get our reimbursement back. And everybody was in agreement that it wouldn't take longer than 12 months. Here we are 4 years later. Because of the hard work of the manager, I will give you credit. Vice Mayor at the time, Mayor Nickerson now. The truth is we avoided bankruptcy in this village, and we're still not in the clear. This is an outrageously serious issue, and I have grave concern that this meeting itself, just in the terms of this loan, is just going to be possibly no more than a 12-minute discussion tonight, because when the first reading happened, July 11th, 2018, to acquire the first line of credit, that meeting was 12 minutes long. So, in addition to that, I would like the CFO to speak to what this is truly going to cost us, because we're only paying interest for the next 12 months on this that we're agreeing to tonight. Additionally, what does it already cost us? And I just would like to remind everybody that there were a lot of promises made from former Mayor Cabillos, DP&O, former attorney, former manager, current manager, and that this situation is the bane of all the woes that the village faces. There are no other woes that the village faces. This is it. And so I'm not going to pretend that this is just another issue tonight. I'm incredibly upset by what this has represented in terms of what it's cost our village, in terms of opportunities, meaning our reserves are still woefully depleted. I'm glad to see that we are with light at the end of the tunnel. We do seem to be in the clear, but we are still very injured from how all of this was handled initially. That's it.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Erbaum. Anybody else from the council? Okay. Hearing none, anybody from the audience have anything that they want to say? All right. All right, and you wanted to hear the CFO speak about the audit? Like just give a quick update on the audit?
That would be very helpful.
Okay, could we do that right after we take the vote, or would you like to do that before the vote?
That's fine after the
Okay.
vote. Yeah.
All right. Seeing that we have nobody from the audience, nobody else from the council, do I have a motion to approve? This is an ordinance, so it's going to take 2 readings, you guys. Do I have a motion to approve the ordinance for the loan renewal?
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Martin. Second by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call, please, for this ordinance?
Roll call. Councilperson Martin.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
Yes,
Councilperson Perella. Vice Mayor Erbaum.
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much, Council. We're doing the best we can to clean up everything from the past. We're on our way. We're going down to Good and Welfare, and now I'll have the CFO come up during Good and Welfare and speak. If anybody else wants to come up and speak about anything at all, now would be your time to do so. You just come up and say your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to say what you want to say. But Mr. CFO, I think that he just wanted a quick update on the audits and where are we with the audits, and like what's the situation you're running into?
Sure. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. There's a lot to take in, so I'll try to answer all the questions. If I forget any, please forgive me, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. As far as cost, you're looking at, as far as the interest rate, I guess to put it nicely, the bank is at its last resort. They've been waiting patiently for many, many years, and they haven't really gotten what they needed from the municipality. So we're kind of at their mercy, and the rate is what they presented, and there's really no wiggle room, so to speak, as it relates to that. As far as cost, over the course of 12 months, you're looking at roughly a little less than $45,000 a year. I don't anticipate it lasting that long. As it relates to the audit, there have been many struggles as it relates to the audit. Not to get into the full details, but the prior CFO did not do any favors to the municipality and the residents to the village. It's made my life, as well as the auditor's life, much more difficult than it should be. We're working through the challenges, and again, I foresee it wrapping up sooner rather than later, but as far as exact time, it's really on their schedule at this point. But I definitely foresee it happening within the 12-month period. I'm hoping within 3 months to have the 2019 audit wrapped up. So I don't know if that answers all your questions. If it does, great. If not,
Is there any one specific issue or department or line item that seems to be challenging in terms of the audit?
we're down to 2 major items as it relates to the audit. One of them was actually as it relates to the FEMA reimbursement. We discovered that we solved that issue, but that triggered what's now called the single state audit. So that's going to add some more work to get the 2019 audit done. The other major challenge that we're having is reconciling the fixed assets. Not to bore everyone with details, but the subledgers and the ledgers don't tie at the moment. And it relates to what transpired in 2018. I don't have that information. I've reached out, tried to request to get that information. I've been unsuccessful in getting that information. The auditors don't have the information. So really flying blind, trying to reconfigure what transpired. So that's kind of the
Then just
challenge.
for the benefit of the audience, just a couple examples of fixed assets.
Equipment, machinery equipment, could be computers, desks, police cars, anything in that nature. Or even projects, stormwater, sewer projects, stuff in that nature.
Thank you very much. Vice Mayor Erbaum, and let me just say for the record, just really, really quickly, for Mr. Taubenfeld, he's doing everything, he's doing everything that he can, and he's doing everything the right way, he's getting things done, and he's a CFO, and you guys know we had a previous CFO, and so I'm not gonna make him say it, but we're having a lot of problems with our previous CFO, as our previous CFO has all the passwords and information that he needs, and he's refusing to give it to us. And that's what's going on, and that's what's slowing things up. So that's what's happening.
Mr. Mayor?
But it's something that we're going to be handling legally, probably if we have to. So.
And Mayor, that's all I was going to say. I just want to make the CFO aware that, if you are hitting roadblocks, we're here to help remove roadblocks. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Mayor, whatever we need to do.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Mr. Topperfield.
Right.
Are there anybody else questions or comments for good and welfare before we move on? I ask for a motion to adjourn. Seeing and hearing none. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Martin. The special council meeting for Tuesday, March 29th, 2022 is adjourned at 6:39 p.m.